The noise complaint was filed at 9:47 a.m. on a Tuesday, exactly 17 minutes after my insurance client presentation had begun in my home office. I'm David Harris, 38, licensed insurance agent, working from my split-level ranch at 1247 Maple Ridge Drive in Pine Corner, Holloway, South Dakota. Been here 4 years. Quiet neighborhood. Professional clientele. Perfect for conducting business meetings with high-net-worth prospects. The complaint cited Municipal Ordinance 14.2-B. Excessive noise during residential business hours. Someone reported construction sounds, power tools, and disruptive commercial activity. The citation arrived 3 days later with a $150 fine and mandatory court appearance. I hadn't used any power tools that Tuesday. No construction. Just a standard insurance consultation in my designated home office space, fully compliant with zoning regulations. The meeting had been scheduled for weeks. A potential 7-figure life insurance policy for a local ranching family. The timing felt surgical. Precise. Deliberate. I called the city compliance office. The complaint was anonymous, filed through their online portal. No recording. No witness statements. Just a checkbox form claiming noise violations at my exact address during my exact meeting time. Anonymous complaints are valid under city ordinance, the clerk explained. You can contest it at the hearing. I pulled my security camera footage. Nothing unusual. No city vehicles. No compliance officers conducting sound measurements. The UPS truck delivered packages at 10:15 a.m. A jogger passed at 10:22 a.m. Standard suburban Tuesday morning. The ranching family rescheduled. They mentioned, quote, concerns about conducting business in a residential area with compliance issues. Word travels fast in agricultural communities. Reputation matters more than premium rates. 2 weeks later, another complaint. Same ordinance. Same anonymous filing. This time during my Thursday evening appointment with a young couple seeking homeowners coverage. The complaint was filed at 7:23 p.m. The meeting started at 7:15 p.m. The pattern was becoming clear. Someone was monitoring my business schedule. Someone with access to my appointment calendar. Someone who understood municipal ordinances and filing procedures. I started documenting everything. Meeting times. Complaint timestamps. Client reactions. The financial impact was mounting. 3 rescheduled appointments. 2 lost prospects. 1 formal complaint to my insurance carrier about, quote, unprofessional business practices. The 3rd complaint arrived after my Saturday morning meeting with elderly clients discussing Medicare supplement policies. Filed at 10:33 a.m. Meeting began at 10:30 a.m. This wasn't random harassment. This was coordinated sabotage. I needed to identify the source before my home-based insurance practice collapsed entirely. The anonymous complaints were destroying my professional reputation, one filing at a time. Someone in Pine Corner knew my schedule better than I did. The harassment started 3 months after I moved to Pine Corner. I'm David Harris, 38, licensed insurance agent specializing in agricultural and residential coverage. Holloway seemed perfect for building a client base among ranching families and suburban homeowners. My home office occupied the converted den. Professional setup. Separate entrance through the side door. Soundproofed walls installed during renovation. Everything compliant with city zoning for home-based businesses. The first anonymous complaint felt random, bad timing, coincidence. The pattern emerged after the 4th filing. Someone was systematically targeting my business meetings. The complaints always referenced the same municipal ordinance. Section 12.4.3. Excessive noise in residential zones during business hours. I started tracking the data. Meeting times versus complaint timestamps. The correlation was perfect. Every single business appointment triggered an anonymous filing within minutes. The HOA Parking Appeals Committee met monthly at the community center. I attended the November meeting to understand neighborhood dynamics. Sarah Henderson chaired the committee. Efficient. Professional. She handled parking violation appeals with methodical precision. Mr. Harris, she said after the meeting, I heard about your compliance issues. Unfortunate situation. I hadn't mentioned the complaints to anyone. The information wasn't public record until after the hearings. How did she know? Just anonymous complaints, I replied. Probably a misunderstanding. Anonymous complaints can be tricky, she said. Hard to defend against accusations you can't trace. Her tone felt rehearsed, like she'd practiced the conversation. I started researching Sarah Henderson's background. Real estate license. Former city planning committee member. Current HOA board treasurer. She understood municipal processes better than most residents. The breakthrough came during my December security camera review. I installed additional cameras after the 5th complaint. Motion activated. High resolution. Covering all property approaches. The footage showed Sarah Henderson walking past my house every Tuesday and Thursday. Same times as my regular appointment slots. She carried a smartphone. Always stopped near my mailbox. Always faced my home office window. I cross-referenced her walking schedule with complaint timestamps. Perfect match. She filed complaints while standing outside my property. The cause was circumstantial but compelling. I needed more proof. I scheduled a fake appointment for Thursday at 7 p.m. Posted it on my business calendar, sent confirmation emails to a dummy client account I created, made sure the appointment appeared legitimate in my digital records. Thursday evening, I watched from my bedroom window. Sarah Henderson appeared at 6:58 p.m. She positioned herself near my mailbox, phone in hand, facing my office. At 7:03 p.m., she typed on her phone. At 7:07 p.m., I received the city compliance notification. Anonymous complaint filed. Same ordinance. Same accusations. No actual meeting occurred. No clients visited. No business was conducted. She filed a false complaint based on a fabricated appointment. I had her. The financial damage was extensive. 7 rescheduled appointments. 4 lost clients. 2 formal complaints to my insurance carrier. My professional reputation was deteriorating rapidly. But Sarah Henderson had made a critical mistake. She'd filed complaints about meetings that never happened. That constituted filing false reports with municipal authorities. I gathered all documentation. Security footage. Complaint timestamps. Meeting schedules. Financial records showing lost business. That painted a clear picture of coordinated harassment. The question remained, why target me specifically? I found the answer in HOA meeting minutes from August, before I moved to Pine Corner. Sarah Henderson had proposed converting the community center's east wing into rental office space for residents operating home businesses. The proposal was rejected. Insufficient demand. Too expensive to retrofit. The board voted unanimously against the project. My successful home-based insurance practice proved the demand existed. My professional setup demonstrated the viability she'd claimed. My growing client base showed the market potential she'd identified. She wasn't just harassing me. She was eliminating that contradicted the board's decision. If my business failed due to compliance issues, it would validate their rejection of her proposal. Sarah Henderson was sabotaging my practice to protect her reputation on the HOA board. The realization changed everything. This wasn't random neighborhood harassment. This was calculated professional destruction designed to serve her political interests within the homeowners association. I had 7 months of documented security footage, financial records, municipal complaint patterns, everything needed to expose her systematic campaign against my business. But confronting her directly would alert her to my investigation. I needed official intervention. Legal documentation. Formal consequences for filing false municipal complaints. The next step required careful planning. Sarah Henderson had weaponized city ordinances against me. Now I would use the same municipal system to hold her accountable. She'd made one final mistake. The fake appointment complaint provided irrefutable proof of false reporting. No meeting occurred, no noise was generated, no ordinance was violated, yet she filed the complaint anyway. Monday morning, I called Holloway City Hall. The Code Enforcement Division needed to know about systematic false reporting. Municipal Ordinance 14.2.7 specifically prohibited filing knowingly false complaints. This is David Harris at 847 Maple Drive. I need to report fraudulent noise complaints filed against my property. The clerk transferred me to Supervisor Martinez. I explained the pattern. 7 months of complaints. Security footage contradicting every report. Financial documentation showing business disruption. Mr. Harris, these are serious allegations. False reporting carries penalties under City Ordinance 18.4.2. Can you provide documentation? I could. Everything was organized, time-stamped, cross-referenced. I'll need you to file a formal complaint. Bring her to City Hall tomorrow at 10 a.m. That afternoon, I contacted the South Dakota Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division. Sarah Henderson's actions constituted harassment affecting my licensed insurance business. They needed to investigate potential violations of state business interference statutes. The intake specialist assigned case number CP 2024-1847. They would review my documentation and determine if criminal charges were warranted. Next, I called the HOA management company. Pinnacle Property Services needed to know their parking appeals chair was filing false municipal complaints. Their liability insurance wouldn't cover board members engaging in harassment campaigns. This is concerning, Mr. Harris. We'll need to review your and consult our legal counsel. Tuesday morning at City Hall, I presented my case to Supervisor Martinez. Security footage from 7 complaint dates. Financial records showing lost appointments. Municipal response logs confirming no violations found. The pattern is clear, Martinez said, reviewing the timeline. These complaints appear coordinated and deliberately false. We're opening an investigation under Ordinance 18.4.2. The investigation would take 2 weeks. During that time, any new complaints from Sarah Henderson would be flagged for immediate verification. Wednesday brought a call from Pinnacle Property Services. Their legal counsel recommended immediate suspension of Sarah Henderson from the Parking Appeals Committee pending investigation. We're scheduling an emergency board meeting for Friday evening. Your documentation will be presented to the full board. Thursday, I received notification from the Attorney General's office. Case CP 202-41847 was being forwarded to the Minnehaha County State's Attorney for potential criminal prosecution. False reporting to municipal authorities constituted a Class 2 misdemeanor under South Dakota Codified Law, the 22nd of November 12. Maximum penalty, 30 days jail time, and $500 fine. Friday evening, the HOA emergency board meeting convened at 7 p.m. 5 board members present. Sarah Henderson notably absent. Board President David Henderson reviewed my packet. Security footage. Municipal complaint records. Financial impact documentation. These allegations are extremely serious, he announced. If substantiated, they represent a clear violation of our board member code of conduct. The board voted unanimously to suspend Sarah Henderson from all committee positions pending completion of the municipal investigation. They also voted to reimburse my documented financial losses. $3,000 in canceled appointments. Lost business directly attributable to her harassment campaign. The following Monday, Supervisor Martinez called with an update. Their investigation confirmed systematic false reporting. 7 complaints filed. 0 violations substantiated. Clear pattern of harassment. We're issuing citations under Ordinance 18.4.2. 7 counts of false reporting. Each carries a $200 fine. Sarah Henderson would receive $1,400 in municipal fines. Her complaints would be flagged in the system. Any future reports from her address would require supervisory approval. Tuesday brought better news. The Minnehaha County State's Attorney decided to prosecute. Criminal charges would be filed under South Dakota Codified Law the 22nd of November 12. Sarah Henderson would face 7 misdemeanor counts in circuit court. Each count carried potential jail time and additional fines. The legal system was finally holding her accountable. Wednesday afternoon, I received an unexpected visitor. Sarah Henderson stood on my front porch, looking defeated. David, we need to talk. I activated my phone's recording app. Any conversation needed documentation. I know what you're thinking, she said. But you don't understand the pressure I was under. She explained her position. The failed office space proposal had damaged her credibility. Board members questioned her judgment. Her committee chair position was threatened. Your successful business made me look incompetent, like I didn't understand the market demand. The harassment campaign was designed to force me out of Pine Corner. If my business failed, it would validate the board's rejection of her proposal. I never meant for it to go this far. The complaints just escalated. Her admission was recorded. Documented. Admissible in court proceedings. Sarah, you filed false reports with the city. You cost me thousands in lost business. You harassed me for 7 months. She offered to pay restitution, drop her appeal of the municipal citations, resign from the HOA board entirely. I'll do whatever it takes to make this right. But the criminal charges were beyond her control. The state's attorney would proceed regardless of any private settlement. Thursday morning, I forwarded the recorded confession to both the municipal investigators and the state's attorney's office. Sarah Henderson's admissions strengthened their cases considerably. The HOA board called another emergency meeting. Sarah Henderson's resignation letter had been submitted. Her confession recording had been shared with their legal counsel. The board accepts Ms. Henderson's resignation effective immediately. President David Henderson announced, "We're also implementing new oversight procedures for committee activities. All future municipal complaints would require board approval. Committee chairs would undergo annual ethics training. Background checks would be mandatory for board positions." The community was taking steps to prevent future harassment campaigns. Friday brought the final piece of justice. Municipal court scheduled Sarah Henderson's hearing for the following month. 7 citations. $1,400 in fines. Public record of her false reporting. The state's attorney set her criminal arraignment for 6 weeks later. 7 misdemeanor charges. Potential jail time. Permanent criminal record. My insurance practice was recovering. New clients were scheduling appointments. The harassment campaign was over. The legal system had provided justice, but the damage to Pine Corners Community Trust would take longer to heal. 6 months later, my insurance practice had fully recovered from Sarah Henderson's harassment campaign. New clients filled my appointment calendar. The false noise complaints were a distant memory. Sarah Henderson pleaded guilty to all charges in February. Municipal court imposed the maximum fines. $1,400 plus court costs. The state's attorney accepted a plea deal. 6 months probation. Community service. Restitution payments to cover my lost business income. She moved out of Pine Corner in March. Her house sold quickly. The new owners were quiet professionals who respected neighborhood boundaries. The HOA implemented comprehensive reforms. All committee activities required board oversight. Municipal complaints needed unanimous approval. Background checks became mandatory for leadership positions. President David Henderson established a neighborhood relations committee. Their mission was preventing future harassment campaigns. Early intervention protocols. Mediation services. Community education programs. I joined the committee as a founding member. My experience with Sarah's campaign provided valuable insight. We developed warning sign checklists, documentation procedures, resource guides for harassment victims. The committee published quarterly newsletters. Topics included HOA ethics, municipal complaint processes, legal rights of homeowners, prevention strategies for neighborhood conflicts. Pine Corners Community Trust was slowly rebuilding. Neighbors attended monthly social gatherings. Property values remained stable. The harassment incident became a cautionary tale rather than an ongoing crisis. My insurance practice expanded into neighboring developments. Clients appreciated my attention to detail. The documentation skills learned during Sarah's campaign proved professionally valuable. I testified before the Holloway City Council in April. The topic was municipal complaint reform. My recommendations included verification procedures, penalty structures for false reporting, appeals processes for harassment victims. The council adopted several proposals. False complaint penalties increased significantly. Repeat offenders faced escalating consequences. Victims received expedited hearing schedules. I lobby for legislation specifically addressing neighborhood harassment campaigns. State representatives showed interest in comprehensive reforms. The Pine Corner case study provided compelling for stronger protections. Sarah Henderson's criminal record followed her to the new city. Background checks revealed her conviction history. Employment opportunities became limited. The consequences of her actions extended far beyond Pine Corner. My home office remained in the converted garage. The soundproofing installed during the harassment campaign created an ideal workspace. Client meetings proceeded without interruption. The investment had unexpected benefits. The security cameras stayed operational. Motion sensors covered all property boundaries. The documentation system remained active. Prevention was worth the ongoing maintenance costs. Pine Corner's property values actually increased after the incident. The HOA reforms attracted quality buyers. The community's proactive response demonstrated effective self-governance. Real estate agents highlighted the neighborhood's conflict resolution capabilities. My relationship with legitimate neighbors strengthened considerably. David Henderson proved to be an excellent HOA president. His leadership during the crisis earned community respect. The board functioned more transparently than before. The harassment campaign taught valuable lessons about suburban governance. Documentation was essential. Legal processes worked when properly utilized. Community solidarity could overcome individual bad actors. Sarah Henderson's betrayal ultimately strengthened Pine Corner's social fabric. Residents became more vigilant about HOA activities. Transparency increased significantly. Accountability measures prevented future abuse. The insurance business thrived in the reformed environment. Clients trusted my judgment. Professional reputation remained intact. The harassment campaign's resolution demonstrated my problem-solving abilities. Pine Corner had become a model community for harassment prevention. Other HOAs requested consultation services. My experience provided valuable guidance for similar situations. The negative incident created positive outcomes. The silence in my home office was no longer interrupted by false complaints. Municipal investigators had moved on to legitimate cases. The harassment campaign was officially closed. Justice had been served through proper legal channels. It was finally over, and the silence felt earned.